And of course, we are left with one more speaker, our sister, Sister Suzanne Janacek. Sister Suzanne is from Buffalo, New York, and is a member of MAS, Muslim American Society. She accepted Islam about 2 years ago, or just about that time, and also has done college here at Nashville Tech. So I'll let her tell you most of her story and her life concerning her journey to Islam. So, Sister Suzanne, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace from God be upon all of you. Again, my name is Suzanne. I said Shahada a little over 2 years. Looking back, I feel like I had been a Muslim for a very, very long time. And God willing, I'll try the best I can to explain it. I just want to say, praise be to God. Now, as of yesterday, I'm remarried 1 month now. Alhamdulillah. I was married for almost 12 years to a Muslim, but I did not convert during the marriage. I actually converted after my return from overseas, after the divorce. And only God knows why I didn't do it during that time. But I feel like I was a Muslim prior to even getting married because when I was a senior in high school, we had to choose for our English projects somebody influential in history, and the teacher provided the list of names for us. And at this time, I don't know if you guys remember or not, but Malcolm X was everywhere. He wore a black shirt with the white X, black hats, the white X. And I was wondering, what does this X mean? And I found out it was about a man. I said, well, what is it about this man's life? And so I chose him. I went to the library, I got the book, and I read about this man's life. I was intrigued how he found his way to Islam. He found his way through the wrong way of Islam. And eventually found his way after he made his trip to Mecca, which is, for those of you who don't know, if you can afford to go, it is required upon us to afford to go, and we can go. We have to go make a pilgrimage there. And I remember something so profound, which was when he was making absolution, which is, we clean ourselves before we pray, and he looked up and he saw a blonde-haired, blue-eyed man standing right next to him. He was thinking, how can this man be the devil if this man is doing exactly the same which I'm doing here? So when he came back to the United States, he tried to teach the correct Islam. I had related a lot to my life through this man's story because when I grew up, I was born Protestant, baptized Protestant, and my mother's family is Catholic. In case you guys don't know the history of the Catholic and Protestants, not very good. But as a result, we were raised in a Catholic church. But I never found a connection, even though I was being told things. I didn't understand it. Well, I had to go through somebody else to have a direct connection to God, even at a very young age. I didn't like it, and I didn't understand it. I constantly had conversations with God all the time. Even at a very young age, I talked to God. But I didn't feel comfortable in the Catholic Church. I didn't feel comfortable in the Protestant Church. I didn't feel comfortable in the Baptist Church, the non-denominational churches. As I got older, I was exploring and trying to find my way. And I'd go to a certain church, and I didn't feel comfortable. I'd go to another church, I didn't feel comfortable. But I didn't know of anything else until I found out about Islam through the story of Malcolm X. But the reason why I didn't want to convert is because I wasn't willing to submit completely. I didn't understand the significance of dressing the way women had to dress. I didn't understand the significance of why men were allowed to have more than one wife. These two issues were huge for me, especially being born and bred an American. I didn't understand it. And I married at the age of 19, and as I said, I did marry a Muslim, and inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala God will bless him, because this man was very, very patient with me. Looking back now, I remember me just saying, well, why do you have to do this? Or why do you have to do that? I don't understand this, and he was just very, very patient with me, but I just really, really wasn't willing to let go of traditions. I enjoyed certain things during Christmas, and I enjoyed certain things during Easter. And even though it didn't really feel comfortable, the way I was worshiping, I was holding on too much to my traditions, and I didn't really understand, and I thought I was trying to make my own way. Okay, if I worship God, then I'm fine. I don't have to dress a certain way, I don't have to act a certain way, I'm fine. But actually, I was just a complete mess on the inside, because I didn't have a certain path to follow. I gave up eating pork in 1994 because my philosophy was, okay, you have three major religions that believe in God. You have Jewish, you have Christian, and you have the Muslims. Okay, two of them don't eat pork. I'm not going to eat pork. And then later on, I read in the Bible where it says, do not eat swine. Then after my ex-husband finished his studies, I moved overseas with him. I lived there a very short time. But then God had other plans for me. So and at this time I still didn't say Shahada, because I'm like, declaration of faith. I don't know why, God knows. But as I'm sitting in the airplane flying home, everything just seemed so clear. All the questions, everything just seemed so clear. And I was faced with, how am I going to do it, you know? I had, at this time, I was coming home to no job. Well, first of all, a Christian family, no job, hardly any money, no friends. Even my clothes, I gave up all my clothes because I knew in the part of the Middle East where I was going to be living, I can't wear the clothes I had. So I was starting a clean slate and scared to death. But I knew inside of me that this is something I had to do, because the only thing that mattered was God. I felt this was my calling. So I feel like my journey to Islam was through the unanswered questions. All these years, I had really had them answered through, first of all, through Malcolm X's story, gaining knowledge from my ex-husband, and then finally through the Quran. But I just really, really wasn't willing to accept it, because I liked the Easter Bunny, I liked Santa Claus, I liked everything. But when I finally was on the airplane and I was starting my new life with nothing, I realized the only thing at the end that really mattered was God. So I was prepared to worship Him the way I needed to. And so when I had come home, probably about a month after I got back, I finally said Shahada. But at this time, I wasn't completely dressing, because this is only a part of faith. If you don't have it here, you don't have anything. But I had steps in the way I was dressing. When I decided to wear the hijab, I confronted my mother with it. My mother's Catholic, and I said, Mom, I said, I'm going to start dressing now, and I need to know if this is an issue for you. I'm not going to not do it, because this is something I have to do. Because I feared God more than I feared my family. And my mom just looked at me and she said, you know what? I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to like it, because I don't understand it. But this is what makes you happy. I'm a mother, I'm here to support you. And God first, and second, my mother, she's been my biggest supporter. And I lived in her house. As I said, I was just married a month ago for 2 years. Right now, I'm the only Muslim. God willing, in the future there will be more Muslims in my family. But nobody had more mercy on me than my God first, second, my mother. I hope with God willing that my knowledge will only increase a Muslim, and I can help other Muslims, American Muslims, to understand that we're not so, people who are Christian and other faiths, that we're not so different from them. I let them know that I am from them, but I am a Muslim. And if I'm jumping, I'm very sorry. I'm not a public speaker, but I appreciate all of your time. Thank you for letting me share my story.